What's up, guys? Strength and conditioning coach Brett Bartholomew here with you again. Today, we're going to talk about some of the myths around this perfect training program that people try to advertise is out there. It's like this mythical creature like Sasquatch. People think, what program should I follow if blank? What program's the best thing to do if I want to go to and play for blank? There is no perfect program. Now, there's a lot of people that have a lot of channels that will sit here and belabor points about linear periodization, undulating periodization, conjugate methods of periodization, and then any number of offshoots that come about. And I get it. When I first started off as a strength coach, nothing was more intriguing to me than program design and periodization. It's still the most common question I get is, what do you think about X program? The problem is most coaches don't want to hear the real answer. Now, I'm going to get to that in a moment. But most coaches really want to believe that there is this magical, mythical, one-size-fits-all approach out there that will just make things easy. Now, first thing I'll say is this. If you want things to be easy, copy and paste, this is the right way to do it no matter what, you should not be a strength coach. Our job is never going to be colored by numbers. The other thing you need to realize is even if there was a perfect program, literally, let's say the brightest minds, the greatest coaches got together and they really created the best program, you have to consider all the other context that comes along with that. Well, okay, so now is this program, is it perfect for 13-year-olds or maybe only collegiate age people? Or is it for professional athletes, or could it also work for my 6-year-old? And we know, if you have any background in this stuff, no one program is going to cover all those needs across somebody's chronological, biological, and technical age, right? Training age also becomes a factor. Here's the other thing you have to consider. What are the logistics? What do you even have access to? Right? It doesn't matter if somebody's written the perfect program. If you don't have half of the equipment that's required to get it done, it doesn't really matter. Now, a hallmark trait of a great strength and conditioning coach is you should be able to get nearly anything you need to get done with 1 to 2 tools or less. I mean, really, people overcomplicate this stuff because, one, they want some kind of confirmation bias that what they're doing is right. And that's really a big reason why people want to see this perfect program. They want to see, am I on the right track? 2, if they have this kind of thing that they believe in, this oracle or this article, it allows them to almost kind of prove to others that they have this superiority, that they're on the right track, that they have your best interests in mind. It's a way of selling themselves. And that's why a lot of people claim to have these perfect programs, one size fits all. You also have to consider this. It doesn't just come down to your programming. What's your nutrition like? What's your recovery like from a sleep context? What are all these things like? Because again, even a perfect program will not be able to overcome the fact of if you're eating poorly, if you're not sleeping, if you're not getting proper hydration, all these nutritional gaps can't be covered by the world's latest and greatest exercises or a wave cycle or even, looking at cluster sets and all the great things they can do. Finally, consider this point is even if you have the greatest program, again, can you coach it effectively? Ultimately, your job as a coach is dealing with people, getting them to understand the bigger purpose behind what you're trying to do, why it should matter to them, and how it will move them forward to their goals. There's a lot of coaches that will take programs off the internet, and they're great programs, but they can't coach for shit. And if you can't coach and you can't communicate, you're rendered worthless, and so is the paper that it's written on. There's nothing more common. Hear this. There's nothing more common than perfect programming done poorly. The final point I'll make is, guys, it's so much more simple than you think. And I know that's really hard to hear, but programming is really so much more simple than you think. I've worked with professional athletes for over 10 years. I worked with athletes in general for 13 plus. And I have yet to work with an athlete of any kind, of any caliber, where I am just now using the fanciest tools and we're using crazy exercises and we're so far beyond the basics, I've ripped up fundamental blueprints. That has yet to happen. I still work with NFL players who don't know how to clean effectively. I work with NBA players who don't know proper landing mechanics. So what are half these people out in this YouTube, Instagram universe really trying to do? They're trying to complicate things because it's easier to seem like an expert when you have the claim to have the perfect tool or the perfect program. It's much harder to be an expert because you have to actually invest in communication and an actual skill set. So think of it this way. Whether you just look at it big picture wise as push, pull, squat, hinge, sprint, carry, throw, whether you look at knee dominant exercises, hip dominant exercises, vertical pulling, vertical pushing, all these different categorizations. At the end of the day, what matters most is how do you put these things together in a way that's efficient, simple to implement, well coached, easy to understand for your athlete, and they give way to them being able to master the basics so well that you can load them up over time and really focus on the two hallmark qualities that make any program great: consistency and compound or progressive overload. Guys, if you want more tips on training, coaching, any of these things, myths, facts, all the BS that's out there and how to avoid it, make sure that you subscribe. We're going to be talking about a lot more of these topics, both from a training standpoint, a coaching standpoint, and ultimately a leadership standpoint. Hope to see you soon.